I had no intention of joining the military. I don't know that it had ever been a thought. I was going to go to school and then maybe be a lawyer, but I was definitely going to go to law school. And then eventually I found myself in flight school. Honestly, like, I was going through a lot of things. I had a few unfortunate experiences in my childhood, and it kind of led me to act out. My parents and I stopped getting along. There was just all these things, and I went from being the cheerleader and the star basketball player to not having any friends, being the new kid in town, eating my lunch in the bathroom, you know, and I didn't want to go to school anymore. In the middle of that, I was expelled from high school, and instead of having a senior year at Jay County, I went and got my GED, and I went off to college for the first year.
But there's, is this? Dads are supposed to protect their daughters, and a lot of what she went through was the result of me not doing that. Whether that was a reasonable guilt for me to carry or not, still was my reality.
The only college my parents would let me go to since I was only 17 was a Bible college. The school at some point said, "We don't want your bad choices anymore." And I just was not, at that point in my life, a rule follower. After the second college, I was really down. I was really down on myself. At least for me, it was hard to see a way out of that.
Probably from that moment on, from the time she went to the school on, it seemed like everything flipped from being a one-sided, mostly bad news thing to there were always two sides to the coin suddenly.
So I went home to Jay County, and my parents were very embedded in the community there, and they had a lot of friends and a lot of family friends, and somebody had mentioned, you know, "Hey, have you thought about joining the National Guard?" And honestly, I did not know what the National Guard was. But I started looking into it and understanding that it was a full branch of the military, and really kind of understanding what that was, and I saw it as a path. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Always thought I'd be an officer, just didn't really have that mapped out and what that looked like. So I stayed enlisted for a little while, and I found myself at OCS, and really tough program, but learned a lot. And at the end of it, they say, "Hey, what do you want to do as an officer?" And I just assumed I'd go be a transportation officer because I was a transporter as enlisted, and this is the, you know, transition. But low down on that list was aviation. That's what I want to sign up for.
Well, when I found out that my daughter called and said she was going to be a pilot, if I remember right, it was a phone call, and I was so thrilled for her. It was something I thought I'd always wanted to do, and I knew she was looking for that win, and I just felt like this was that win. I was just ecstatic.
Literally, like I tell people, I had to go to flight school so I could finally do something that my mother can't do. She has just always been that complete inspiration and that female inspiration.
The night before she graduated from basic, the phone rings about 10 o'clock at night. And she says, "How's your stomach, Dad?" And it was the first time she ever acknowledged to us that for 2 years, every time the phone rang, our stomachs would knot up because there was probably something bad coming down. And so, you know, kind of chuckled about that. And she said, "Well, I'm not going to be leading, I don't get to march with my platoon tomorrow." And we made it so close, so close. And she said, "Because I'm going to be leading the whole parade."
You can't go and serve in your communities in anything else except the National Guard. It's the only way to truly serve your community and still get the opportunity to serve your nation.